EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchich here with your outlook for June 22nd, 2020. For your Monday, expecting a little bit hotter conditions today. We have an upper level disturbance that's going to be moving through later today, and we have one that was affecting us over the weekend. It is now offshore. That moved offshore last night. We have this other upper level disturbance that's going to move through late in the day today, and as it does so, for mainly our western counties in central PA, could get into a thunderstorm. It could be, there's a possibility that the storms could be on the stronger side with localized downbursts and some large hail, but I don't think this is going to be a real big deal or widespread issue because of the fact that the soundings are indicating a very weak steering flow aloft, which is pretty typical with an upper level system moving through. So generally under 15 knots with a steering flow, and so not a lot of shear to work with these storms. Normally you want to look at shear values to be 30 or above, 30 knots or above, and we just don't have that today. So there is indications here that we get late in the day, and this would be very late in the day, probably during this evening or late afternoon at the earliest. But you have some thunderstorm activity forming in central Pennsylvania, and as it moves eastward, it's going to run out of daylight for one thing. So it's going to as we approach dark here, these are going to kind of fall apart. A lot of instability here, though, today, because it's going to be hot and humid. So the instability is not an issue, but in order to have severe weather, you need to have every single severe parameter kind of lining up, and the shear is not there today to keep these storms going. So you might see something pulse up and be locally strong for a short amount of time, and then it kind of chokes itself out because that steering flow is so slow. So the rain-cooled updrafts actually move out ahead of the storm and choke it off. So that's the issue we'll be having here in central PA today. And then as we get toward the evening here, this is going to kind of fizzle out into nothing here because you're going to lose that instability as we lose sunset. But you could have some showers and storms make it all the way up into northeast PA, from what's left over at that point. I don't know how much is going to be left here at this point. This is all ending before midnight. So that's today. And then we have once that moves through, we have another hot day on Tuesday. Today's going to be a couple degrees warmer in the wake of that upper level system yesterday. So kind of like mid to upper 80s yesterday. We're going to be upper 80s to near 90 today. And then in some places getting into the 90s here on Tuesday ahead of the cold front. Now the cold front is far enough to the west. This is late in the day. And it's far enough to the west here that we should not be dealing with severe weather for a large part of our region unless this timing is a little bit faster. The NAM is indicating that, and moving ahead to Tuesday now. The NAM is indicating that late in the day here. Now this is getting very late in the day. This is 5 p.m. here. It's starting to come in our western counties, and then it moves eastward through the evening hours. If this were the case, you could have some stronger storms, again, mainly in those same areas, our western counties, before it moves eastward, and then it kind of falls apart a little bit as it does so. Let me see if I have an updated. No, there's nothing updated here. So there is an opportunity here for some stronger storms, a little bit better of a potential here on Tuesday, and the reason for that is we have a little bit better shear to work with here on Tuesday. But again, you're going to be running out of daylight. Here's 8 o'clock, and it gets over the eastern part of the state, so they still could hold intact. If this were correct, Tuesday could have a better chance of seeing some severe weather, especially in our western counties here on Tuesday evening. So we'll watch that closely, but I think today is going to be very, very isolated to see something pop up that will be that'll give you the opportunity to have any severe weather. But I think it's going to be just in our western counties where we have the best chance of that before dark. But here is, once you get this move through, the cold front actually comes through here on Wednesday. Not a lot of precipitation with this on Wednesday, and the short-range models are not indicating anything more than an isolated thunderstorm here during the day here on Wednesday with the cold front moving through. What this cold front's going to do is it's going to lower the humidity behind it. Not really temperatures too much. I mean, we're going to be in the 90s Tuesday, maybe upper 80s near 90 on Wednesday, and then we're going to have temperatures drop back a little bit to the middle 80s. So it's still going to be very warm, but the humidity is going to drop off considerably. You'll notice a big difference with the humidity here on Thursday and Friday behind this, but it's going to be creeping up again as we head back toward the weekend. But we are expecting partly cloudy skies on Thursday, mostly sunny here on Friday, and then we get to the weekend, humidity increases. Saturday, Sunday, we could have another cold front coming at us here late in the day here on Sunday with some scattered thunderstorms. But the temperatures are going to increase to near 90 or upper 80s to near 90 again. So it's going to be another hot go at it by the time we get to next weekend. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchich. That is your outlook for June 22nd, 2020. Have a great Monday.